Hello and welcome back to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm your host Rajni Bharara, and before I move ahead, let me again quickly read out this very important disclaimer. By watching our videos, you agree and understand that the information provided by our experts and attorneys, including comments and replies from users, is not legal advice. Use of information is at your own risk. All right, now after this, once again, welcome back everyone. I am Rajni Bharara, your host. You're watching Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, and today we continue our deep dive into a topic that resonates with so many students, and yes, with their families too. Well, it is about today we are going to talk about how to pursue a medical career. Yes, there you have it on screen. How to pursue a medical career in the USA on a dependent visa. And to talk about that, we have with us a very distinguished guest, someone who has been a beacon of hope and, like I say every time, a guidance for countless students. Joining us again today is Jothsna Kethar, affectionately known as Coach Jo. She is an independent educational consultant and also college counselor. But her expertise and influence extend far beyond these titles. And I would like to also tell you that Coach Jo is a certified Tony Robbins life coach, trained to help children identify their goals and overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams. Now, without any further ado, let me quickly again welcome Jothsna onto our very special show. So, Joe, welcome back. It's good to have you back.
Thank you, Rajni. I love this show and congratulations on exceeding 100,000 on your YouTube subscribers. I'm pretty sure it took a lot of hard work. I love the energy that your whole team brings in, the kind of topics that you constantly look to help people on visa. I mean, really, I've gone through your channel. I mean, I've been sending people because I have a lot of parents who are on the dependent visa, and they came back and told me that there's a lot of information, education, and resources that you share. So it's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Joe. It really means a lot, and because of people like you, we are able to achieve this. Achieve this goal. So thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you so much for your contribution, and also for being a part of our channel. Like I said, because of you, we are able to achieve this goal. And so, Joe, today we are going to talk about how to pursue a medical career in the USA on a dependent visa, right? So before I jump into the topic and on the questions that I'm going to ask you today, let me quickly tell our viewers that, guys, we are live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and also on Facebook, and the handle is Immigration Talk Show. So don't forget to subscribe to us. And if you have any question related to this topic that you would like to know from Joe, so you are more than welcome to post them in the comments below, wherever you're watching it from, whether it is LinkedIn, whether it is YouTube, Facebook. So please, you're more than welcome to post your question in the comments. Now, without any further ado, let me quickly ask my very first question to Joe. So, Joe, I know you're not an attorney, right? So, but because mostly attorneys answer what are the dependent visas, and mostly about visas, they are able to cover more about those topics. But still, I mean, since you have come to our show and our topic is like that, can you please explain the different types of visas and how they might affect pursuing a medical career in the USA?
Okay, so I will talk about the visas, but first you need to understand the programs and the whole how to become a doctor or how to pursue the different pathways to pursuing a medical career in the United States. Okay, so I'm going to take you through different journey. Number one, you want to enter after high school. Got it? After high school in India or even here. So the way the streams that work here is you have an option to do a 4-year undergrad degree. Unlike in India, MBBS, it's not like that. You can do an undergrad degree, a 4-year degree in any subject, but you meet certain requirements for organic chemistry, biology, mathematics. Then take the MCAT exam, which is the entrance exam for med school. Have a very good GPA, good MCAT test scores. That MCAT is an exam which is like very lengthy. A lot of people struggle with, but the test scores that are needed to get into a med school is 508 to 514. So the top medical schools, they need that MCAT score of 514. A bit lower level, mid-level schools need 508. And then you have to apply to the medical schools through the app called AMCAAS. It's a medical portal where you submit your GPA, your transcripts, how many hours of volunteering. You create a complete SOP or statements and everything, and then you apply to the med school. You get into the med school. But that does not end there, because you need to pass more exams in order to practice medicine in the United States. They are called the USMLE. So the USMLE are two stages. Stage one is clinical analysis, and another is another stage that is there. So typically, they start preparing for the USMLE either in the second year of the med school, or after they finish the med school. Okay, so that puts you at 8 years. So you've gotten your undergrad, you've gotten your master's. After that, you need to take the USMLE. Then you've got to go to residency program or master's program to then finally become a doctor, right? So when you're entering through after your high school, then you have a BSMD program, which is a combined medical program. It's an 8-year program. So the thing is, you don't have a problem of applying to the med schools. You get into them with a conditional agreement in high school. That's a very, very popular option that is there, and a lot of my students get into that. And the visa for that, there are a lot of schools that are kind to immigrants, and I will talk about certain colleges that gives a lot of endowment, medical colleges as well. So there is a combined medical program, or there is a traditional medical program, or in between there's an early assurance program where you get into undergrad, and the second year you apply to the med school. Okay, so there are different uh, parts when they come in. Okay, so there are typically students who have finished their MBBS and they want to come here. At that time, they have to do their USMLE 1 and USMLE 2 in order to do that. So this is the process, and I'll get into the visas because first you should understand the process.
Of course, thank you so much for giving such a detailed answer to this question. But you said you're going to talk about colleges too. So if you can please mention few colleges that might help, to the students who wants to pursue a medical career in the USA.
Excellent. Excellent. So, fortunately, I met somebody who's from Rowan. Rowan is a wonderful STEM research college in New Jersey. And when I spoke to this person, he mentioned that they are very, very kind to international students. So they give a lot of scholarships to international students. Okay. So I'm going to meet with their admissions officer and get more detail. But Rowan is number one school that gives a lot of scholarship to like international students. They have a separate kitty for that. Okay, but again, the visas are there. You can study in any of the visa, right? H1, J1, F, and L. But then, in order to work, you always need a work permit. You get it? So if you want to practice, then you should either have an H4, which is your work visa, or be on your EAD to practice. So that is the visa thing that is there.
Okay, all right. So apart from this particular college, do you have some other, important colleges that you can name off that can be helpful to these students if they
Excellent.
don't get into this one?
No problem. Okay, so there is University of Connecticut. So they allow BSMD students who are on international visa to join them. Another highly selective is Brown, right? Brown also allows students to get into the BSMD profile and everything. And I also had my own relative, my own cousin who did his MBBS, nailed his USMLE 1 and 2, got his visa, and he's practicing in Ohio. You get it right? So it takes a lot of time and effort and counseling and guidance to nail the USMLE 1 and 2 to come here. Yes.
Okay, but Okay, so what are these colleges exactly looking in a student that wants to have I mean that wants to get admitted into the college? Because I'm sure there must be a lot of students who are eyeing for these colleges but don't get in. So what are those things that these colleges are looking at, and also in the students, and what should the students do differently to get into these colleges?
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so let's go back to the basics. What are the qualities that the doctor needs, right? Empathy. Okay, so your whole application essay should be about empathy, and also it's all about the academics, right? It's like, because you have to like know every single cell of the body. They expect your academics, your answering, like all the examinations are geared towards your checking of the knowledge. So yes, you need to have put in MBBS in itself is extremely hard, but you need to be able to nail that exam, right? And also, so that is the academic part. Now I'm going to talk about the extracurricular. I call it extracurricular because it's outside the college, which is the rotations, which is your residency as a part of MBBS and everything. How much experience you have being in a hospital, right? So that is very, very important. The number of hours that you have put in there, volunteering hours they're looking for research. Research is a very, very important aspect. They're looking for whether you have written a research paper and presented it somewhere, right? So it shows that, because they constantly want those kind of candidates who can come into their institutes and deliver, right? So they are looking for all these kind of past experience with which students to definitely build clinical experience, like research, like a lot of shadowing experience, and acing that exam. That's the main thing that's needed for the USMLE and getting into med school.
Great. Thank you so much for answering the question. And now, quickly, I would like to move to my another question. So, also, you can, if you can explain what are the best pathways, best educational pathways for someone on a dependent visa, who wants to pursue a medical career in the USA. I mean, what are the
Okay.
best educational pathways?
Okay, so the educational pathways depends on, it's like a train and a journey, right? At what part they're joining the train, right? Are they a child of an immigrant parent who's applying? Okay, so what we have seen is these undergrads, these pre-med programs give out a lot of scholarship. Okay, University of South Alabama will give 100% full tuition for students. We have seen that. So the thing is, if you're already a resident here, then it's like you don't need a visa. You're not put into that international category, right? So you will get very good opportunities there, but they're not mainstream. It's Alabama, it's South Alabama, right? So those kind of schools give a lot of endowments. Okay, there's a big misconception that, oh, I'm in a dependent visa, I'm not going to get scholarships. No, these are institutional scholarships. There are three kinds of scholarships in colleges. Okay, so sorry, when you're applying to colleges, one is an institutional college, is a scholarship which the college gives. That is the most that they will give. Okay, then there is local scholarships, like I mentioned last time. Like there'll be local businesses who donate to that school, and you can try to get it. Or there are private scholarships which are extremely hard to get in. I'm not saying you don't apply everywhere, apply these three buckets, but the institutional scholarship is what will give you the most. Like for example, University of Alabama has put it on their website. If you score very well in this exam, you get 21K off. It is on their website for out of state scholarship. I just spoke to Rowan. Again, they have scholarships for out of state, international, everything. So that is your undergrad journey. Okay, so now you finished your undergrad. You finished it in the States. You want to go to med school. Then it is MCAT exam that you have to take, right? MCAT exam that you have to take, have your hours, research, and everything, and apply to that. Okay, so that's the second kind. The third kind, you're an MBBS and you want to come to America to study. Like I mentioned, you have to pass the USMLE 1 and 2, and then they will sponsor you a visa and you will come here to study. Get it? Right? And then you do all your residency and everything, and you get your board certification. Again, that is all education. To get educated, there is no restriction on the visa. But when it comes to the work, you either need to have OPT or have an H4 sponsorship or be on EAD, because you may be on the EB3 basis based on your educational qualification, based on which university they go and their visa application policy. At that time, you can get it. So these are the different pathways that are there.
Great. Thank you so much for answering the question, Joe, and thank you so much for taking that up. But also, okay, so you being an educational consultant and also a college counselor, I mean, how do you prepare your medical students differently, from other students?
Excellent. That's a wonderful question. So it's great. So what we do is it's a separate. I have segregated. Glad that you asked, because I have, the way I do counseling is med and non-med. Got it? Because that's the distinction. Within the non-med, you have STEM, accounting, actual science. But with med, it's just one big block. There are 6 components for that. Okay, and I will explain that. So the way I prepare the profile is, number one, academics. You've got to have academics. And also, if you're in high school or you're going to undergrad, you absolutely need to have these 4 courses. It is biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics. And mathematics is AB. Okay, so if you have these in high school, you can transfer credits and save a lot of money. You can save 1 year. Okay, that's number one, academics. Number 2, it is test scores. SAT, ACT. You need to get very good test scores. And a lot of colleges like University of Alabama give you merit aid because your test score was very good, right? So that's the second component. The third component is research. Research is very important because they want a student to have research in the STEM, in the medical field. And also, please don't think that the colleges are expecting you to find a cure for cancer. No, they want to see if this particular student has taken the time to learn something deeply. And that is what you show in research. You've written a research paper. Okay, so that shows them that the student can write an academic journal. So the student can go to conferences and present it. So that is the third one. Okay, the fourth one is shadowing. You absolutely need to have experience in a hospital or shadow a doctor. Okay, please don't think that you're going to be invited into the surgery room and give scalpel to the surgeon. No, it's not going to be that level. But start. Okay, I always tell my students to just go to the hospital and ask them for a volunteering opportunity. Okay, if you're not getting paid, if it is a 501c3, there is no visa restriction. Okay, so you have to go and volunteer. Okay, you have to in a hospital. You get it? And the best place inside the hospital to volunteer is the NICU, the neonatal unit. Okay, so you can go and like help them out, create care packages for the neonatal unit, or things like that. There's so many things that you can do to show empathy, to show the fact that you've come out of your comfort zone and you've gone out and explored it, right? Yeah, so that's there. And also, you can, if you're not able to find any volunteering opportunity and you don't have a car, you cannot drive around, just walk outside your apartment complex. You will see senior centers, right? You can go and volunteer there. They are end of life, older generation, people who have dementia and everything. So you can go and just spend time with them, right? And that counts towards your volunteering opportunity. So that's the fifth one. Okay, so all these are very, very important. And then your extracurricular activity has to spark. I have always told you it's got to be uncommon, impactful. So pick one activity that is like that. My student who's aspiring to become a doctor, she's still in high school. She is doing research on skincare for swimmers because she's a diver swimmer. She's like 4 hours in the water. There's so much chlorine destroying her skin. So she made it as her passion project, and see what it tells colleges that, wow, this girl wants to explore. So she's developed a whole website. She's writing blogs. She's going to interview dermatologists. These are all simple but effective things. They want to see action. So these are the major components for getting into medical school.
So, I mean, are there, I'm talking about skills, are there any specific skills that the medical student should be careful of, or, I mean, while picking? Or, I mean, if they're interested in anything, so they can pick, I mean, anything as a skill, I mean, as like other students, they can also pick any skill that they are interested in, or they will, medical students will have to be picky while choosing, a skill. Is it like that?
There is nothing like that, okay, but it depends, right? It depends on your strength. Okay, you are going to be my own cousin is an eye ophthalmologist. He works for Shankar Netralaya, okay, and his wife is a squint eye specialist. So she never chops onions because the tip of her skin will get cut, right? It's because she's doing surgery. She's ambidextrous. You get it, right? Ambidextrous is use of your fingers. So I tell my students a lot of time to go shadow dentists. That shadowing is also good. It doesn't mean that you only have to go to a hospital. Dentistry, you see how they use their fingers, they move their scalpel and all that. So it depends what the child is interested in, right? Or I have students who are interested in coding and AI and everything. They can do research combining both of them. You get it, right? So it's any skill you want. It needs to come back to empathy and how you want to solve a person's medical problem and be empathetic to them, right? That's what's most needed.
Okay, thank you so much for answering the question, Joe. I'm getting a lot of questions from the viewers. So, if you allow me, I would like to take some
Please.
questions before I move again on to my questions. So, Simran is here. Hi, Simran. And then Sarah is here. Charan, Tony is here. Mukhtar is also here. Hi, Mukhtar. I hope you're doing good. John, hi, John. And, so many questions basically from a lot of people. So, let me quickly take Sarah's question. So Sarah says, can I convert my dependent visa F2 to a work visa H1B while pursuing my medical career? Do you think this question, um,
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, I can answer it.
okay.
Okay. So yes, if she's getting a sponsorship for H1B, which will give her an ability to go and work and practice as a doctor, grab it.
All right. So Sarah, you should grab it, go grab it. Thank you so much for your question. Let us know if you have another follow up. And Mukhtar is also here. And I can actually see only half part of Mukhtar's question. And it says, now what do I do? But I can't see a part before this. So Mukhtar, if you can please let us know what question have you posted before this. So, meanwhile, let's quickly take another question from Simran. And Simran says, please advise me. I'm currently on an H4 visa and want to apply to medical school. What are my options and how do I find research opportunities? And what are the visa implications for working in a research setting? Can I start a medical residency program on a dependent visa, or do I need to switch to a different visa category?
Okay, I can answer this. Okay, so number one, to apply to a medical school, there's no problem being on H4. Okay, so you can. UConn, University of Connecticut, Rowan, Brown, there are a lot of schools. Okay, so yes. So the thing is, they don't need to sponsor a visa. So you're not an international student, right? So you will get in-state fee and everything depending on that, and you can even negotiate for that. They'll give you very nice endowment. Okay, so if you, it all depends on the good MCAT score. See, you need to make yourself attractive to a medical school that they throw money at you. This is what I tell them, right? Is build a profile where a college wants to say accept it and throw money at you, right? So yes, nail your MCAT, get 508 to 514. Okay, shadowing, get a lot of shadowing things. And also you mentioned about finding research opportunities. In when you go to the med school, you will find them. That's part of the medical counseling here in the States. When you join a pre-med school, there is a counselor assigned to you who will help you map and prepare your profile for med school. But it seems like you studied from somewhere else and you've come here, so you will get the research program opportunities. You can approach any university and go and do it freely. Okay, see, the problem comes when remuneration comes is when your visa issues come. When you are not on and you look at their policy, can they take you like as an intern, unpaid intern and all that to find research? It depends on what area you are. If you're in Rutgers, you can go and approach them, approach the professors and tell them that have a resume ready. What is your expertise? How can you contribute? find a research opportunity there, which is unpaid, and you can build that. Then go and volunteer, go to the hospital, ask them, is there visa restriction? Because a lot of my students are on dependent visa. Go and shadow them, because you need those kind of shadowing hours, anywhere from 100 to 200 shadowing hours, 200 or 500 shadowing hours. You need that before you can apply. Do you have organic chemistry? Have you fulfilled their academic requirements? So check with the complete requirement in AMCAAS. Okay, and then you will get into medical school. There is no problem entering the medical school, because it's MCAT and all these requirements. But then the visa switching and everything, then you can see if you want to switch to the OPT for your work, or all that is later. But right now, focus on getting into medical school and see which one is. Nova Southeastern is an exceptionally good medical school in Florida. Rowan is there. There are many, many, many medical schools. Look for a school which is like huge, has a lot of endowment, has a lot of students. Number of students need to be over 15,000. So that is like a big school. Those big schools have more opportunities and research opportunities. You get it, right? Because externally they need to have a lot of endowment. So all these are factors that will help you.
Great. Thank you so much for answering the question, Joe. And thank you so much, Simran, for asking your question. And actually, I was about to actually ask you about schools only. So, Joe, please let us know, and also, our viewers who are watching us right now, are there any particular medical schools or programs that are more accommodating or accessible for dependent visa holders?
Yeah, absolutely. I told you Rowan is one of them. Nova Southeastern is one of them. There are a lot of schools that are there. Also, more remote parts of the schools. The most metropolitan, they're not. But the remote areas, they need a lot of people coming in there. So I know my own relatives who have come from India, who did that USMLE. They did work at a hospital that was quite remote. Right, so there are many medical schools that are out there. St. Louis University, U Toledo, in Arizona. Depends on what area you're in. Arizona, be it Arkansas, Texas, anywhere. There are many medical schools that are there. You just need to see, apply there, look at the requirements, look at that, and definitely do that. There are a lot of colleges that are very kind to international people, right? I met somebody in Rowan who said that, oh, we have a big pile waiting for international students. We're trying to build that community of international students. I feel like New Jersey has a lot of med schools that is very kind to immigrants, but the East Coast is, but Pennsylvania, all these places, there are wonderful medical schools that you can get into. Yeah.
Wow, great. Thank you so much again for answering. That's really helpful. I'm sure it's also helpful to our viewers who are watching us right now. But again, my next question is about financial aid options, scholarships, because you are an expert in that, right? So, Joe, if you can please let us know what financial aid options, scholarships, or grants are available for dependent visa holders pursuing medical education.
Okay. So the biggest scholarship is the institutional scholarship. It's a scholarship that the college is willing to give you. Okay. So I've had students who joined MICA, for example, Maryland Institute of, that was a performing arts, but he literally got about 40K scholarship per year, right? So sorry, uh, institutional scholarship is number one. Sometimes look at the country that you're coming from. Like I researched before coming here that Saudi Arabia, even India, has a lot of scholarships that give students, like academically superior students, to come and study and pursue their higher career. Right, so institutional scholarships are the ones that you can like definitely look for scholarships, grants, and everything. And every school has its own kind of scholarships. Like there is a Fulbright foreign student scholarship that gives scholarships to international students to study medical education. There is an American Medical Women's Association scholarship. So there is very unique scholarship. So always I tell students to sit down and write in a piece of paper the nouns, right? I am, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, and you then it'll help you build that scholarship, right? And then there is Margaret McNarma, educational grants and everything, and country specific. The Indian government has it. Then the Saudi Arabian Cultural Mission has it. There is a World Health who's fellowship. There is Rotary global grants, and yes, so these are the kind of institutional scholarships that you get. The institutional scholarships, for example, if you want to study in Harvard, they have a scholarship. Then Johns Hopkins has scholarship. Stanford has scholarship. So every university will have its own scholarship. Okay, and there's also University of California, San Francisco School of Medicine that offers very good scholarships. So there are many schools like this that offer that.
All right, thank you so much again, Joe, for answering the question. But I think it's time to go for a short break, and I'm sure a lot of viewer questions are also waiting in line to get an answer from you. So let's quickly go for a break, and then we will be taking up the audience's questions. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned with Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. After the short break, Joe is going to answer your questions. So, stay tuned with Immigration and Jobs Talk Show.
Consultant seeking a new opportunity? We offer job placement services for US citizens, green cards, EADs, and visa holders. We also sponsor various work visas like H-1B, E3, TN, and green cards. 20 plus years of experience in the industry. Exceptional employee benefits. Highly rated by our employees. Global presence with 200 plus recruiters and direct clients. Connect with us. Call us on the number 732-707-9151 or mail us at rajni@higheritpeople.com or visit our website www.higheritpeople.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm Rajni Bharara, your host, and today we are here with none other than Coach Joe, and we are here to discuss how to pursue a medical career in the USA on a dependent visa. Welcome back, Joe, after the short break.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. I love the questions that are here. So I feel great.
Great. So you already have seen the questions. That's so amazing. And so, Joe, before I jump into the question, I actually would also like to ask you one more question, which is, I'm sure, very important, to our viewers. So, if you can please talk about, how can dependent visa holders manage tuition and other educational expenses considering their visa restrictions? Because, I'm sure people, students, and families on dependent visas, worry a bit about tuition and educational expenses also, right? Because, I mean, they are new to the country and all that. So if you can please talk about, how can they manage all this?
Okay. So the number one is institutional scholarships and everything. And also, if you even if you don't get any kind of scholarship, when you come here, you have the teacher's assistant opportunity that you have in the school when you come for the postgrad. Okay, so a lot of postgrad colleges they encourage students like that. So I know of students on visitor visa who have kind of helped with that. right? So that is another one. And also there are sometimes research scholarships and everything, like helping a person like in the research lab and getting like compensated for that. So those are the kind of different things that you can do. And also sometimes you get a tuition discount when you buy in bulk, like Costco. I'm sorry, it's not like that. At least when I was on a dependent visa, if I took 3 courses, then I sort of could save on them, because even I was like that. I came on an H4 and went to NJIT to do my master's. So this is how you can augment it, right? But please, I would like to warn you and encourage you to be within your visa restriction. You don't want to jeopardize that and take up something that's outside, or like get paid in cash or something like that, because we don't want to kind of jeopardize our situation at any time. Within that, look for opportunities. There will be a guidance counselor that you can go and ask for opportunities and everything. So certainly it is possible.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much again. And I'm sure now, after my question, I mean, I still have a lot of questions pending that I would like to know from you. I cannot take up more time because a lot of people are also waiting to get an answer to their questions. So let's quickly jump into audience's questions now. Okay, let's take one by one. Simran is here. So Simran says, please advise me. I'm currently on an H4 visa and want to apply to medical school. What are my options? How do I research opportunities? And what are the visa implications for working? I think, did we already take this? I think
We can.
we took that, right? Okay, Sarah also we have taken. Charan, let's take Charan's question. So Charan says, what do you advise the Indian students like me who aspire to become doctors in the USA? After 10 plus 2, what exams do we have to appear in? Okay.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for sharing that. So great. So you are typically in the American system, right? So like I mentioned, there are six criteria to get into a med school, a pre-med track or a medical track, and get a lot of scholarships. You have to do the profile building. Number one is GPA. Please always get very good GPA. Number two is the subjects that you take. So you absolutely need to have the golden rectangle, the name that I coined, which is AP Biology, AP Chemistry, AP Physics 1 is good, no need to do C. AP Math, which is AP Calculus, AB is good enough. If you want to take BC, that's a bonus. If you want to take stats, that's a bonus. So these are courses. Next is the testing. You have to take either SAT or ACT, get a score of 1550 and above, or 34 plus, right? So that is the academics part. Next, you need to have research in your profile. Okay, so it could be shadowing I'm not shadowing, working with a research professor and writing a paper. I know a lot of students who are in that Hillsborough area in New Jersey who come to the Rutgers lab and do research, co-author papers. The research paper gets published. So that is very important. Okay, that is the third one. Okay, the fourth one is they need volunteering, right? They want to see that you are kind, you want to give back to the community. So you need to have volunteering experience, but specific to the healthcare kind, right? So you are volunteering for Red Cross, or some person organized a blood drive, right? Or some person is running a free health camp for elders. You have to go there and volunteer. Got it? So you need to amass those hours, which is like 100 to 200 in 4 years. Okay, so that is the volunteering. Then they need medical shadowing. So you need to shadow a doctor or go to the hospital. They want you to be in an environment where ill people or people who need medical help are getting treated. So it can be a pediatrician, it can be a physician, even a dentist. Please do not look down upon them. They are ambidextrous. It's still a medical field. You can shadow a chiropractor, a psychiatrist, a psychotherapist, an ophthalmologist, like optometrist. Also, I tell my students, oh, I cannot find volunteer. I'm sorry, shadowing. I'm like, please go to Walmart. There is a lens store there. Go and learn how an optometrist can is doing, that is still medical, right? You need to have that solid exposure to medical, okay? And then you need to have a wow factor in your extracurricular activities. Trust me, you do that. University of Alabama will give you 21K. University of South Alabama will give you full tuition, right? So these are the Rowan. I always put Rowan in the college list for my high school students who are applying to med school. Has a very good BSMD program and it's very liberal in giving scholarships. So yes, as a high school student, build that wonderful profile to show that you are capable of becoming a good doctor.
Thank you so much again for such a detailed and insightful answer, Joe. And your answers are really brilliant and in so much depth. So you basically, whatever that the confusion Charan might be having, I'm sure he must have got a really good answer to his question now. So thank you so much for doing that. Like I said, your answers are insightful and really in detail and amazing. So thank you so much for that. And Charan, if you would like to get in touch with Jothsna, so, well, you can get in touch with her. These are her details. You can give her a call at +1 866 618 9640. I would like to repeat the number 866 618 9640. Her email is info@giftedgabber.com and her website is www.giftedgabber.com. And well, you can email her, you can get in touch with her via call, via text, and also you can visit her website. So yes, don't wait up. Just get in touch with Joe, and she'll be helping you more.
Yeah. Can I quickly answer Charan's question, if I may, about
Of course,
USMLE?
please go ahead.
Okay, great. So USMLE is taken in the second year of medical school. So you've gotten a MBBS, you get into that. USMLE, you absolutely need that. So there are two USMLE 1 and 2. So it's like clinical knowledge. They call it CK. It's taken during the fourth year of the medical school to test your clinical knowledge. Okay, then there is clinical skills. That's step 2 clinical skills. In step 2 itself, you have 2, which assesses your clinical skills, your interaction with with patients. I'm not saying patients, like people who are ill and everything. But this clinical skills has been discontinued. So you need to pass these two exams and then apply for the residency program. Got it? So there's a national residency matching program, which is called NRMP, where you go and find your residency. So USMLE is extremely important that anybody, even a person who's an American on a citizen visa has to do. So these two exams need to be done to practice as a doctor.
Okay, so Charan, I hope now you're happy. Thank you so much again for your question. Let us know if you have a follow up that you would like to, again, ask a question or maybe know an answer to. So, Charan, thank you again. And Tony is also here. Okay, so Mukhtar has again not, I don't know why why can I not see his rest of the question? Only I can only see what can I do now, and that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so here. Joe, here is one question from a viewer who's also watching it on your platform and also on our platform, and says the question is actually EIC. That's it. I don't know what that means. I mean,
EIC, EAD or EIC, I don't know what that
it's just
is.
one. It's just these three letters EIC. I don't know what that really means.
I'm sorry, I don't know either. Is it earned income tax credit? That's what I'm sorry, I don't know. It's not a.
Maybe okay. Hilva is the name.
Okay,
So
wait.
Hilva,
AIMC,
no.
American Math Association. How does math exam or Olympics, Math Olympics, AMIE, Math Olympics helps with medical school? Absolutely, good math. That's a math competition. They really help. Yes.
Okay, I mean, if that's what that is something that you mean, Hilwa. So Joe has tried to give an answer to your question, but
Yes.
I don't know if you can clarify and write in detail what
Sure.
exactly do you want to know. So please let us know. And meanwhile, let's quickly take other questions because I'm sure there are A lot of other people also waiting. So Tony's also here. Let's answer Tony's questions, Joe. So Tony says, how does being on a dependent visa affect my ability to participate in a clinical research opportunities or medical conferences?
See, it depends on the medical school that you have enrolled in. You go to medical conferences from a medical school, right? Only when you want to practice, only when you're working is when you need the H4 or the EAD, right? So that is when you need a visa. I don't think there's a problem in participating in clinical research or medical conferences. I've seen a lot of people go on when they are on the visa to the medical conferences. That's part of building your research journey, presenting journals and all that, right? Yeah, so that's something that is very specific to a particular university and their rules, but I don't think there's a problem with that being on dependent visa.
Okay, all right. Tony, I hope you have got the answer. Thank you so much for your question. Let us know if you have a follow up. Simran is back and says, wow, feeling already motivated. Thanks a bunch. Thank you
Please
so
join.
much, Simran.
Thank you. And also, let me tell you, I'm not an expert when it comes to postgrad. Okay, I have counselors, I have resources. You need MCAT. I have a mentor. He's my mentor who helps with the MCAT exam. For the USMLE, I do have a counselor because you need to go to experts for that. I do have resources. So if you drop a line, I will connect you to them.
Okay, thank you so much for mentioning that, Joe. Thank you so much again, Simran, for your beautiful comment. And I actually have got a question on WhatsApp because I constantly, as you know, Joe, that I constantly check my WhatsApp also because I do get questions over there too from our viewers. One of our viewer wants to know: do you think the upcoming elections are going to factor into the education system? And will foreign students get the same scholarship as you had mentioned? And before the show, before we started the show, we discussed a bit about politics, and you said, for your mental health, you would like to keep away, from politics. But still, if you are
Okay.
comfortable, would you like to give
Yeah.
an answer to this?
Absolutely.
Please
So
go.
you see, it's all comes from the Supreme Court decisions. Now, the affirmative action came in, right? The affirmative action is colleges cannot discriminate, right? Earlier, it was like only this many Asian students can be there, this many African American needs to be there, Hispanic and all that. So the affirmative action is gone now. That means that colleges cannot discriminate. You get it, right? So any policy that comes in, whether it is Trump or Biden, it takes a very long time to pass. You get it, right? So that is my point of view, is it's not going to be overhauled overnight. And this whole American system runs on foreign students. How will a university survive, if both financially and academically, if they don't get brains from internationals? No, the international population is the fabric of any university. That's it. So they're not going to rock that boat. You get it, right? So that is what it is. But we don't have a crystal ball, right? And knowing what the current boiling issues are, this is not. There are other things that he would rather focus on, whoever comes in, than crash and burn a system that is working, right? So that's my opinion. It causes stress, uncertainty over the political situation. I completely understand. I don't look at the news. It causes me stress. But there's no point being fearful, right? Yes, I know there may be a little bit of fear that if Trump comes in, he may cut down on the number of visas. But then Trump will never cut down on student visas because that's how the universities run. Got it? So you need to see that everybody's very calculating. These
Mhm.
politicians are very, very calculating, and they will not rock the boat that
Yeah.
brings them money.
Of course, and they are very careful about these, at least these policies, right? And you
Mhm.
said, as you said, student is something that they are very student visas are something that they are very careful of, right? So thank you so much for clarifying that, Joe. And again, if even if anything a new policy or a new reform comes in, it will again take time to pass and take time to settle, right? So I don't think the student must be worried about these things.
Yeah. Don't be worried. Don't let that affect you. Just have, like, I sometimes feel like have blinders on.
Blinders.
What is your Like laser focused on your goal. Don't let anything affect you. Don't let anybody tell you anything. It's all going to work out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so now let's quickly move to next question. So next question that we have is from Tony. We already taken. John is here, and John says, "How can I gain clinical experience or volunteer in medical settings while on a dependent visa?"
Okay, so the thing is, if you are pursuing pre-med, there is always a counselor that's assigned. Every college, when it is when you go to undergrad, they will have a counselor. And especially the way I pick colleges for my students is, once they've gotten accepted and they come to me, Joe, these choices are so good. How do I pick? I go a step further and I see what kind of counseling they give. Right? Do they help with the MCAT testing? Do they help with building the research? Do they help with the volunteering? Do they help with the clinical experience and all that? So those are some things that you need to see what the medical college offers. Okay, there's a rumor that Case Western does not have that many clinical rotations and all that stuff, but in St. Louis, they have very many opportunities. There's Hofstra, there's many opportunities. So those are the things that you can get it. That's part of that ecosystem. Always pick a college that is part of a huge hospital. You get it, right? So you involuntarily have those kind of opportunities for your medical hours and everything, because you need to get that, right? So pick a college like that has a huge hospital. Like University of Alabama has a huge research center, right? University of South Alabama, St. Louis University, University of Toledo. There are many colleges. Florida, please, the weather is perfect. University of Atlantic, FAU is there. University of Central Florida, University of Southern Florida, Nova Southeastern. These are all wonderful colleges attached to hospitals, which you will have all these opportunities, and you can get these experiences on a dependent visa. But when you want to practice is when you need a work visa.
Okay, all right. So, John, I hope you have got your answer. I hope you are happy, and let us know if you have another question. And we are still here for another 5 minutes. Meanwhile, let's quickly take Raul's questions. Raul is also here. And I hope I'm taking the name right. If I'm not, I'm really sorry about that, Raul or Raul. So, the question that he wants to know, Raul, okay, thank you so much. So Raul says, I'm on an L2 visa and interested in pursuing a medical degree, but I'm not sure if I'm eligible for clinical rotations. Can you clarify the rules and regulations surrounding clinical rotations for dependent visa holders? Also, what are my options and how can I increase my chances of getting matched into a program?
Okay, again, like I mentioned, there is no restriction for clinical rotations or anything at all, right? So again, like I said, for the clinical rotation and everything, it again depends on the college and the facility that you're getting in. Like I
Right.
said, there is no restriction to clinical rotations, research, doing research, studying, education. There is no rules regarding that. It's only when the compensation or you employment is when you need a special visa. So there's no problem. They encourage you to attend and study and even have an in-state fee for what you're applying. Yes.
Okay, okay. So, Raul, I hope you have got the answer. Thank you so much for your question. And again, Hilwa is back, and now this time he says SOON, which is soon. But I again don't understand what this means. I don't know if there's a game that Hilwa is trying to play with us. Maybe he's trying to play a game where he wants us to guess what he's trying to say. So Hilwa, this is not the right platform to do and play that game. Maybe if you can, write your question in detail, and then Jothsna will be able to answer your question. So please write it in detail and let us know what you want to know about. And meanwhile, let's take Nageshwar's question. So Nageshwar also has, I think, two questions or three questions. So he says, I am about to complete my MBBS in India. I am at present doing 1 year internship. What are my options and how do I start my paperwork for the same? And then again, okay, we will move into the next question, but in a while, let's quickly answer this one first.
Okay, so I just got this question over the weekend, and I'm just going over what the student had done because
Okay.
I definitely did that. So you need to first go ahead with the USMLE. Okay, so basically the first step, get a very good score. The student got a score of 269, and then pass the second part of the USMLE, at which time you need to get visa from that particular university so that you can come over here and continue with your med school. So you need to take on the USMLE, prepare that, which I'm pretty sure is not a very very easy exam. It's brutal, but I know a lot of people in India. They're fantastic. They're very very driven. They have done that, and also you need to have research presentations and everything like having research. So they have a whole requirement. So the first step is the USMLE.
All right. Okay. So now his other question is actually about USMLE only, and
Okay,
he wants to
okay.
know how many years of residency is there, age limit for USMLE, how much gap between USMLE one and two.
I'm so sorry. It takes a bit more expert, but if you can drop me an email at info@giftedgabber.com. I have
Mhm.
Dr. Mary June, whom I work with. She is a specialist in preparing students for USMLE. I can certainly ask her and come back to you.
Great. So, Nageshwar, maybe what you can do is you can write an email to Jo. Her email ID is, see, it's scrolling below on the screen. So maybe you can note it down. It is info@giftedgabber.com. And yes, she'll be able to help you with your, question. Okay. So I think one last question can we take, Jo?
Absolutely. There are some very interesting questions. I hope you take all of them. Can we please
Okay.
take Narayan's question? Can I please take Narayan's question? It's
Of
very
course, of
interesting.
course, of course. Please,
Okay.
what
I'm
can
so
be better than this, that the guest is, that is herself saying to extend the show. I mean, please go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, please, please, please. It's lovely. Even if I don't know something, I can go and get the answers for you. So it's very stimulating to be here. So I love the question that Narayan Pandey is asking. How does the job market for medical professionals vary by specialty and location in USA? Beautiful. So let me tell you something. There is BSMD and BSDO. There are
Mhm.
two schools of medicine. Okay. I know a lot of kids, because I work with high school students, they do DO. DO is doctor of osteopathy. So it's not like the modern medicine or MD, but it's a specialty where they study about the spine and build their profile. So these doctors, they become sports medicine experts. Okay, so this I had the students like, Joe, I want to make millions by treating basketball players. So sports medicine is a very very lucrative field. Okay, that is one stream. Okay, and also the BSDO doctors, they come back to mainstream to become pediatricians, gynecologists, physicians, and all that. Then you have the MD specialty where they become like surgeons. Super specialized in that particular area. But if you ask me, the most up and coming field is combining technology with medicine, which is like AI, biomed. That is never going to go away, right? After the pandemic, I mean, the pharmaceuticals are bustling, right? They're coming up with so much vaccine and a lot of innovation is happening. So I would say that is something that's never going to stop, like innovating, right? Because medical treatment is not just a doctor anymore. There's a lot of technology. There's AI. There's so much AI prediction that is coming in, and a doctor who knows how to marry technology with medicine is what I feel that is there. But it also depends on the kind of doctor a person wants to be, right? Somebody who's kind, who wants to do clinical, does not want to sit in a desk, right? And also this hospital administration, right? You can do a DO program, then an MBA, then you can run a hospital, right? You still have to be a doctor for that. Okay, or you can be a geriatrist, or you can do plastic surgery. This, I mean, the sky is the limit,
Yeah.
right?
The
So
list
that's
goes on and on, right? Yeah.
yes.
Okay, all right. So, but Joe, Narayan has one more question, and he says, are there certain medical specialties that are more in demand or easier to enter for international medical graduates?
I haven't heard of anything that is like special to international students. And also, you should remember one thing, that in the US they cannot discriminate, right? They cannot say that it opens, then it becomes a lawsuit. It goes to Supreme Court. Then the affirmative action happens,
Yeah.
right? So they cannot like singling. Oh, you know what? This field is not good, so we are going to give it to a third world country. They cannot have that.
Of
So
course not.
it's like everybody, it's very inclusive. You should understand something about United States and why we have so many of us, because it's inclusive,
Yeah.
right? And so that is what it is. So there is no special thing that, oh, I cannot fill up the seat, so I should get there. And
Right.
also, that is not the right way of going about, is like, just because there is a certain demand, I want to go there. It has to align with your passion, right? If you're not a technology person, you kind of analyze things. You're like that. Like, a pediatrician needs to have a different kind of a skill. A neurologist needs to have a different kind of a skill. A psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, they're all different skills that they need to have, right? We just don't pick things because they're in demand or like that's my point of view.
All right. Thank you so much, Narayan, for your question. Thank you so much, Joe, for your answer. Let's take one last question for today's show. So, one last question is actually, so Nageshwar is actually back and he says, can I
Oh,
give USMLE 1 and 2 from India?
I'm so sorry. I don't want to give you a wrong answer by guessing it. I am not sure about that, but I'm going to sit with Dr. Mary June and learn about all that. You get it? So I will definitely, please write a list of questions. I'll get them answered from Dr. Mary June.
Okay, all right. So Nageshwar, like Joe has already mentioned, that you can write an email to her and she'll be able to help you, because she already is working with a specialist who is a specialist in USMLE, right? Who can help you with your questions. So, just get in touch with Joe. What are you waiting for? All right. So thank you so much again, Joe. I think that's it. Those are the questions for today. I think we can wrap this session up, but I would like to tell you that I still have a lot of questions that I would like to know on this topic. So whenever you have time and availability, we would
Please
like to
share
do
it.
another
Please,
episode.
please. Yeah, another episode we can certainly have, because this is a very vast.
Very uh-huh.
You need, like, it's not possible to compress everything in 1 hour, because it's an ocean.
Of course, of course. So thank you so much for that. And to our lovely viewers, I would like to tell you that if you want to get in touch with Jothsna Kethar, so what you can do is give her a call at +1-866-618-9640. Her email is info@giftedgabber.com. Her website is www.giftedgabber.com. And if you're looking for a project placement or visa sponsorship, you can reach out to me on my number, which is +1-732-707-9151. My email is rajni@highwritingpeople.com, and our website is www.highwritingpeople.com. So you can also visit our website. Remember, we sponsor H-1B visas and other work visas based on job availability and regulations. All right. So, Joe, thank you so much again for doing this. Thank you so much again for taking out time and coming to the show and doing the show and answering each and every question in so much detail and with so much insight. So, thank you so much again for a lovely episode.
Thank you, Rajni, for being a bubbly, effervescent hostess.
Thank you so much again for your kind words, and already looking forward to our next episode now.
Sure. Yeah. Take care now. Bye.
Bye. And to our lovely viewers, thank you so much. That's it for today. But we'll be meeting very soon. Tomorrow we are going to have 2 seminars, 2 webinars. So don't forget to tune into Immigration and Jobs Talk Show at 12 and also at 2, because we are going to have, like I said, 2 amazing webinars with 2 different guests. So stay tuned with Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, and don't forget to subscribe to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Rajni Bharara. See you all. And like I said before I leave, keep subscribing and keep watching Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. Bye for now.
Consultant seeking a new opportunity? We offer job placement services for US citizens, green cards, EADs, and visa holders. We also sponsor various work visas like H-1B, E3, TN, and green cards. 20 plus years of experience in the industry. Exceptional employee benefits. Highly rated by our employees. Global presence with 200 plus recruiters and direct clients. Connect with us. Call us on the number 732-707-9151 or mail us at rajni@higheritpeople.com or visit our website www.higheritpeople.com.